What would be a funny thing to say to a surgeon before anesthesia kicks in 5 seconds later? Edit, woke up today and this blew up. My surgery will be in about 5 hours, thank you for the ideas. I had broken my wrist and was being put under to have 4 pins inserted. They gave me my anesthesia through and 4. I felt coldness spreading up my arm and across my chest. The nurse asked how I was doing and I said, this must be what dying feels like. I heard her say, oh my god, then I was out. So did you die? Yes. Wow. I actually have a relevant story that happened recently. As I was getting ready to go under, they were placing a device in my mouth to keep me from biting down on the scope they were going to use for the endoscopy. Think medical ball gag, but a hard plastic ring instead of a ball. As the gal was placing it in, I asked, wait, what's the safe word? I heard a good amount of laughing as the world turned to black. Edit a word. This is amazing. Related comment but doesn't really answer the question. My dad was in the middle of a surgery repairing some pretty nasty damage on his wrist after a skiing accident. He was under heavy anesthesia, but the surgeons were having serious trouble with the screws in his wrist, which apparently jarred him around enough to wake up. He noticed their struggles and managed to say, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Then he passed back out. Ha. I'm told that when I was out having one of my fingers patched up and another reattached after a table saw accident, I asked the surgeon if the drill he was using to put screws in my hand was a Dualt or a Ryobi. Once a tool man, always a tool man. I had just woken up after having my shoulder worked on. I was in and out of consciousness for a bit and just generally whacked out. I guess I shifted in the bed and moved the blankets a bit and exposed myself as the nurse came in. She smiled and moved the blankets back. I apparently told the nurse, you saw mine, do I get to see yours? My wife was in the chair next to the bed. I remember thinking the nurse was smoking hot. I woke up and she told me she was flattered. I have no idea what I said. Before going under for wisdom teeth, the doctors said I might feel funny. They pushed the and asked if I felt any different. My, and only my, began to itch like crazy, and it was hot, not warm, hot like I just ate peppers with my. I told them my is itching like crazy. The assistant was really bad at holding back a laugh. The doc resisted mightily, but he too succumbed to my newly discovered emotions. They actually gave me some kind of that had the exact same effect when I had surgery. They warned me prior, though, and I kind of laughed it off until it actually happened. As the anesthesiologist was putting me under, he just said I'd start to feel sleepy soon. I asked him, aren't I supposed to be counting back from 100 or something? He replied, I don't know, I must have skipped that class. Being an anesthesiologist must be awesome, as you can always get the last word in. Anesthesiologist, okay, how are you feeling now? Me. Oddly, at this point the room starts cracking up. No way it was that funny, right? Anesthesiologist, told you so. Turns out he gave me a little anterograde amnesia before a spinal block, endured my stupid joke, then told the room, watch this. He's going to say the same dumb thing again, word for word. Bonus story. Another surgery. Docs are cool, they let me be awake so I could watch it for fun. Surgery is happening, I'm watching him on the monitor as he hacks away tissue inside my up joint. It's cool, but hard to follow. Surgeon graciously explains things to me a little as he works. I'm biting my tongue trying not to annoy him by asking too many questions. But of course I'm on drugs. I probably got a little chatty. Last thing I remember, I say something, he just looks over at the anesthesiologist. Good night. I want the ability to do that at my job. Someone's giving me lip, I just nod to the anesthesiologist. I had an anesthesiologist that looked like Dan from Roseanne. He was awesome though. I had to have 2 eye surgeries and he was the anesthesiologist for the second one. He came in to explain the process and asked me, Sue, I see you had surgery a week ago. So you know how this is done, right? I nodded and said yes, sir. His face suddenly got really serious looking and he said excellent. Most people freak out when they see the hammer. Edit, yes, John Goodman. No, I haven't seen anything else he has acted in. Yes, thanks to this post I now have a list of movies to watch. That seems like something Dan would say in a Roseanne Halloween episode. That reminds me of the last colonoscopy I had. The sedation didn't take and I woke up several times during the procedure yelling in pain and confusion before I conked out for good. When I woke up the doctor tried to talk to me about how I was feeling, but I was so upset and freaked out I hissed at him, then refused to speak at all. Do you hiss normally? Or was this some spontaneous trauma-induced regression to an animalistic state? I was kinda still whacked out, so I'm pretty sure it was the second one. I've had a couple of combative reactions when coming out of sedation, making a fuss, trying to pull out IVs, etc. According to my mom, I yelled for one of my favorite TV characters to save me one time. When I got my wisdom teeth removed. Doctor, alright, so you feeling that sedative yet? Me, yeah, a little bit. I bet I can stay awake though. How long can people usually fight it? Doctor, not long, good night. Me, blackout. I remember laughing when I woke up because that was the last thing I remember. I had this exact same conversation. The only difference was I woke up halfway through them taking out my wisdom teeth. My mother could hear my yelling from the waiting room. The doctor was, a little surprised. Edit, would this be a good time to mention I had an upper GI scope last week and woke up during that too? This one was less dramatic. I made eye contact with the doctor, and then tried to rip the scope out of my mouth. Then back under I went. Wow. So many who have woken up during procedures. We should band together and do something. Something nefarious. Edit 2. I do not have red hair nor am I Irish. Till red hair can indicate a resilience to anesthesia. Same here for my wisdom teeth. Woke up, saw blood all over the surgeon's hands, heard a crunch, they had to shatter a tooth, thought to myself, well that. And went right back to sleep. When I had my wisdom teeth removed and was given general anesthetic, I apparently said, if this is what being on drugs is like, sign me up. He went and told on me to my mother. The general anesthetic I was on for mine made me absolutely loopy. My GF walked me to the pharmacy, told me to sit down and not go anywhere. I said, where would I go? Like it was the dumbest thing anyone had ever told me to do. The moment she turned to go get my prescriptions filled, I got up and wandered off. I still don't know where I was trying to go. You were probably trying to figure out where you would go. I actually did the same thing before both of mine. I managed to get out. I'll see you in the future, doc. Or something. Either way, once the drugs kicked in I didn't care. Edit, a word. I actually just remembered I didn't get to say anything the first time. As I was about to lay down on the table they were stepping my arms down and I shit you not the woman says, okay, put your arms out like a T, yeah it's like you're being crucified. I only got out what? Then I woke up and looked at the first woman. I said I'm hungry. Oh shit, sorry, she laughed and gave me goldfish. I asked for a tummy tuck while being wheeled in for a bowel resection. I said, while you're cutting it open, just cut some off. Then when I was done my surgery, but still pretty messed up on drugs, I asked if I was skinny and then cried when my doctor told me he didn't give me a tummy tuck. Same DR, different procedure, terribly inappropriate joke. Had to have a colonoscopy, so they gave me some medication where I was awake, but like, it was weird. Anyways, I was feeling silly and told him, first time doing anal on camera, and I'm not even getting paid. I asked for a tummy tuck after both of my C-sections. Doc gave me the same answer each time, I make it work, I don't make it pretty. Okay, so I know this is late in the thread, but when I was 15, I discovered that I could pull my foreskin back behind my head. Needless to say, my foreskin was so tight I opted for circumcision. My doctor, Dr. Lentz, was the funniest dude I've ever met. Told me my was gonna look like Franken for a month or two, but it's cool. Anyways, I'm in the OR on Christmas Eve and I feel the anesthesia starting to kick in, and before Dr. Lentz walks out, I shout/slur, Doc. Please, just take care of the little guy. And he stops, turns around, bows to me and says, as if he were my own. I laughed once then passed out. I was being wheeled into emergency abdominal surgery once and my girlfriend was with me. We're rolling down the hall and they have the mask out to put me under and I pause and say to her, don't let them touch my. The nurse smirked a little and they put the mask on me. In somewhat of a panicked fashion, I pulled the mask off, stared up at my girlfriend, and with full weight and seriousness told her, "They can look at it, but no touching." I heard the doctor laughing as the gas kicked in. This is particularly funny because they most certainly did touch here. With long surgeries under general anesthetic you need a catheter so you don't leak all over the sterile field. Sorry.